Bitcoin finally trades over $40,000 for the first time this year. Where will we see it going by the end of 2023? New Tesla Cybertruck finally reaches its customers. And the last thing that we're going to be going over, and probably the biggest piece of news, is Google says that XRP is going to be used by the Federal Reserve. Make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys go in and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. If you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone, I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started is going to be Sunday, December 3rd. The total market cap right now for all cryptocurrency right now is $1.54 trillion. This is a 3.75% increase on the day today. Fear and greed index right now, we're at a 75. I do see us going a little bit higher in the greed index. Again, no financial advice with anything in this video, but we did start trading Bitcoin earlier today at $39,000, and we had a nice run up, a little over $2,000 per coin. Currently, Bitcoin is trading at $41,464, Ethereum $2,250, and XRP right now at 63.27 cents. Getting into our biggest gainers and losers on the day today, we got Lunar Classic right now at 48.9%. We got Ordi right now 31.3%. Luna is going to be up 23.7%. Again, no financial advice, but Luna Classic and Luna, for those of you guys that don't know, their founder, Do Kwon, is currently serving a prison sentence right now, I believe. But he's the one that created this coin, and then the coin was trading a little over $99 per token. And then within like 3 minutes, he ended up flooding the market with tokens, just creating a bunch of new tokens out of thin air, causing the price to go from $99 to hundreds or thousands of a penny in under 3 minutes. So again, no financial advice, but I'm going to steer clear of those. And then again, you guys know how I feel about the FTT token. Biggest losers on the day today, we got USTC right now down 10.3%. We got Hex down 6.6%. Some of you guys have been looking into Hex. Their founder, Richard Hart, there's a little bit of controversy with him that we're going to be going over. And then XRD down 4.6%. Getting into our news, though, we're going to be going over a lot of political as well as business stuff that affect the financial markets. And then the other half of the video, we're going to be going over cryptocurrency. So getting into our political / business aspect right now, the NYPD cops are leaving the force at insane levels as crime in New York City continues to worsen. Over 2,500 cops have left the force this year, 43% higher than the amount who left in 2018 before the pandemic. So they're having a lot of cops issues in New York City, but this is going to be a nationwide problem. We're having crime rates go up drastically across the nation. We see businesses getting looted, affects their bottom line. And what does that cause? That causes the price of goods to go up, and us, the American people, suffer because of this. This will also affect businesses closing down, shutting down for good, as well as affects retail real estate. So commercial real estate is going to be going down drastically, in my opinion. Getting into some other news right here, the U.S. Department of Defense failed its audit for its 6th consecutive year. The defense spent $187 million on the audit, which is a small slice of its $853 billion budget. Now, again, me and you, us average citizens, we have to put in our financial records to the IRS. If we fail an audit, we face jail time with possible fines. But again, they fail their audits left and right, and no punishment, in my opinion. So just shows where they actually see the American people. Also, private jets are getting ready to leave for a climate change conference in Dubai and are frozen on a runway in Munich as 60% of Europe is covered in snow. So a bunch of world leaders, even in the United States, travel to Dubai for a climate change conference. And what do they take? Do they take commercial? No, they're going to take private jets. They're going to be taking the jets that the presidents are supposed to be using. And again, kind of just using a bunch of fossil fuels to go to these conferences to fight climate change and talk about it. Yet you guys are going to keep on using more fossil fuels to get there. In my opinion, this is a do as I say, not as I do thing. So, obviously it's frozen over right now. They got to get this plane up and running. So they're going to just heat it up really quick and then send it on its way. But in my opinion, it's terrible. And we got Kamala Harris over here. She's our vice president here in the United States. But she's in Dubai talking about the billions in taxpayer dollars they've spent on climate resilience and renewable energy for island nations. In my opinion, this is completely ridiculous. This isn't good for our taxpayer dollars. But put down your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Should we keep on sending money overseas? Xbox talking to partners for a mobile store. CEO Spencer says Microsoft is in talking with partners to help launch a mobile app that will take on Apple and Google's dominant position in businesses, according to the Xbox lead, Phil Spencer. I think this is really good for Microsoft. This is good position. And if this actually goes through, I could see a positive for Microsoft stock. Chevrolet, whatever you guys want to call it, finally dropped its first commercial that a lot of people are actually like, my goodness, this was a great commercial. If you guys watch it, it's 5 minutes and 26 seconds long. But it shows a grandmother who has Alzheimer's, and in the commercial, the grandmother's just sitting at a chair. And then finally, the granddaughter's like, you know what? I'm going to get you out of the house. They go into the garage. They get the old Chevy she used to, the grandmother you probably used to have back in the day, and she starts cheering up and talking again. For those of you guys that don't know a lot about Alzheimer's, it's kind of a just terrible disease. But it was a nice commercial that they finally came out with, so it's a good job on Chevy for finally coming out with a decent one. And then this is a great ad by Coinbase that truly embodies the struggles of a middle class. However, do not forget and stay diligent. So a baby's born and basically goes through the elementary school, grade school, talks about taking on debt, going to college, buying a house, buying a car, taking all this debt. Debt's great, debt's great. But then how can we change that? And then you guys can become your own banks with cryptocurrency, and then the Coinbase logo appears. I think this is a good ad by Coinbase. If you guys know anything about cryptocurrency or want to get into it, you guys can basically be your own bank. You guys manage your guys' own money on your guys' own digital wallet. Disney just reinstated its dividends. So Disney declared a dividend of 30 cents per share for the second half of its fiscal year. Disney stocks right now roughly about $90, just a little over. So for every share that you own, you're going to receive 30 cents in dividends. Normally these are paid over quarterlies. So roughly you're going to receive about $1.20 per year in dividends as long as the company still is doing well. Disney has a lot of controversy for those of you guys that haven't been paying attention to the news. And we'll talk a little bit about what Elon Musk has to say about the Disney CEO, Bob Iger. The new production of the Cybertrucks finally have come out, and citizens in the United States who pre-ordered them finally got their trucks delivered. They look pretty cool. And then for those of you guys that don't know, here's the specs if you guys want to look at it. But they had a little drag race right here. We'll skip a little bit of it, and then the truck starts going through, and the truck beats this nice sports car. But in the end, it's actually pulling the other sports car. So it just shows how massive amount of power and from 0 to 60 that these trucks can go. Just because there's no combustion engine. So this is really good for Tesla stock, in my opinion, and the trucks look pretty good and they're bulletproof too. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Department of Justice, just want to see where we're at time-wise. So DOJ says ex-Binance CEO CZ is a flight risk, so he's not allowed to leave the United States until his trial, and he actually got denied leaving. The SEC seeks to prove that Binance and founder CZ committed an FTX-style fraud. So the SEC is now trying to go after CZ. Whether you agree or disagree with what CZ did or how it happened, he hasn't been proven guilty yet. But there's a reason, in my opinion, that he stepped down. But if you're committed to seeking to prove that he did something wrong, you guys should have the evidence, in my opinion, to come out and do this first. Obviously, you guys did not do that with Sam Bankman-Fried. So now we're seeing Binance drop a little bit because their founder and CEO, former CEO, because he had to step down, is in trouble right now. U.S. taxpayers spend $451 billion per year to house and care for everyone that's coming into the United States right now. I'm not going to really talk much on that because I don't want to get banned. I got banned on TikTok for about a week for something that I said related to Uphold's giveaway, which was ridiculous. Um, 820 billion. Stanford Chartered Bank predicts Bitcoin will reach $100,000 by the end of 2024. In my opinion, I can see this actually happening. I do see a 50,000. This is my personal opinion. I see a 50,000 Bitcoin before the end of 2023. So that would be a nice little Christmas present to anyone who owns cryptocurrency or owns Bitcoin. But advice from billionaire vice chairman Berkshire Hathaway, Charles Munger, who passed away at 99. So Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett right here. If you guys don't know who Warren Buffett is, you guys should look. One of the world's richest people, financial guru, created Berkshire Hathaway. But his right-hand man, over 60 years, they were best friends, colleagues, business partners, passed away, and then left behind a legacy. Now, obviously, he does the old school style. He talks about how much he hates cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. But put your guys' thoughts down in the comments below about it. Cristiano Ronaldo is sued for promoting Binance. In my opinion, this is kind of a crazy lawsuit because who's going to actually like take this seriously? And if he gets sued, was it going to be here in the United States or is it in another country? And anyone can come up with these bogus lawsuits at any time for talking about it. In my opinion, it's ridiculous. Getting into some other news right here, Elon Musk tells advertisers that are trying to blackmail him to go fuck himself. So we're going to play this video. I don't know if you guys can actually hear it or not. So I'm going to just be quiet for the 20 seconds, hoping that you guys can, and we'll talk about it. So if you guys could not hear that, I don't know. I'm going to try to play this through when I watch this video again just to see. But when he says that, anyone who tries to blackmail him for money, he's the world's richest person. He says, go fuck yourself. And then when the reporter at the New York Times, it's a summit at the New York Times, he says, but he just doubles down on it and says, no, go fuck yourself. And then says, hi, Bob, which is Bob Iger, who's the CEO over at Disney, one of the people who just pulled advertising. You had Disney, you had Coca-Cola, you had Apple, and then Walmart all take off their advertising over at X, which is formerly Twitter. Um, Philippines to block access to Binance in the country. So again, a lot of controversy. But MicroStrategy purchases an additional 16,130 Bitcoin for $593.3 million. This guy owns a bunch of Bitcoin. Obviously, it's not just him, but it's his company that owns a lot of it. Disney faces boycott after Elon Musk tells CEO Bob Iger to go fuck himself. So a lot of people are trying to cancel their Disney Plus subscriptions. Again, we just saw that Disney reinstituted their dividends. So this is kind of a controversy. What's going to happen with it? And then the Cybertrucks are starting their deliveries. We talked about that. The Cyber Beast, a little under $100,000. The all-wheel drive, a little under $80,000, and then we got the real-wheel drive right now, a little over $60,000. I think these would be kind of cool to own, in my opinion, but I'm never going to be buying an electric vehicle, I don't think. Don't hold me to it, though. We talked about that already. We saw Bitcoin go up. I just told you guys about Walmart delisting their advertising over at X. And then U.S. judge threatens to sanction SEC lawyers for convincing a court to freeze crypto firms' assets under false and misleading claims. So they did this to Binance, and they also did this to a couple other crypto exchanges. We'll see what happens with that, but it'll be interesting. But BlackRock's ETF approval record with the SEC is 575 to 1. So could we see a spot Bitcoin and a spot Ethereum ETF by the end of this year or early quarter 1 of next year? And then we can also see a Ethereum or an XRP ETF, in my opinion. We'll see what happens, though. They bought a little bit more, but unrealized profit, we have the president who wants to start taxing unrealized profit. So this would be a lot of money in unrealized profit that would get taxed. We'll see what happens, though. Bitcoin finally broke over $40,000 and $41,000 and finally surpassed again another $800 billion market cap. Getting into some other news, though, we talked about the Hex thing. So Hex has a documentary right here. If you guys want to read it or watch it, it's called The Highest Stakes. You'll have to search it for it on the internet. You can rent, buy it, or again, you guys could probably stream it. But the SEC reported that their attempt to serve Hex founder in his lawsuit to appear in court has been unsuccessful. He is nowhere to be found. But its Hex is down 99% from its all-time high, and Richard Hart explains where your guys' money went. So this is the founder right here, and he's showing off a $200,000 outfit. In my opinion, again, no financial advice. I just saw this. I'm never going to own Hex due to a little bit of this reason. You have a lot of cryptocurrency influencers. You have a lot of cryptocurrency founders and stuff like that flaunting their money. Who needs to spend $200,000 an outfit to feel cool, in my opinion? Again, if you disagree, put your guys' thoughts in the comments below on it. But we saw this with BitBoy Crypto / Ben Armstrong. He did the exact same thing, trying to flex money, left him bankrupt, in my opinion. Now he's dealing with some stuff with his ex-wife or wife right now, but trying to get divorced. And he's just putting all his dirty laundry out on the internet. It's kind of crazy, in my opinion. Monica Long, she's the president over at Ripple, but she wants to say that it is nice to know that parents especially in the last few years, are having support from their coworkers and bosses. A family-friendly policies ingrained in your company's culture is paramount. Thankful and proud to work at Ripple. So Ripple was named that they were selected as one of the best workplaces for parents in 2023. I work as a public education teacher, and for us, we just currently, me and my wife just had a baby 2 months ago. And on leave, parents only get 2 weeks off, paid or slash unpaid, but you have to use your sick days, and then you have to do this whole little thing, and it's technically unpaid unless you file for what is it? Ended up having to file for short-term disability. So we don't even get a lot of time. You would think that as a public school teacher wanting and dealing with kids all the time, that a district would, in my opinion, do this. But again, I still like where I work. I like what I do. And I know companies have to do this stuff, but it's kind of, nice to see that Ripple, a nice company right here, does this. Getting in some more news right here. JP Morgan said Binance's agreement with the US government is positive for both the crypto industry and stock markets. And that's maybe because BlackRock and the usual suspects wanted this to happen. And I kind of agree with this. Again, we've seen a lot of controversy right now with JP Morgan with the Ripple case. We see with Ethereum free pass speech, a lot more evidence is coming out on that. But Brian Armstrong, who's the co-founder and CEO over at Coinbase, says that he enjoyed his visit with the UK's Global Investment Summit. Great leadership from Rishi Sunak. He's the prime minister over in the UK, making UK a crypto and Web3 hub. We see this in Dubai also, but we do not really see this here in the United States, promoting science and tech as a backbone to economic and job growth for all citizens. This is kind of nice to see outside the United States, but we wish that we could see innovation thrive here in the US. Ripple says that they're thankful for all of the 2 impactful days in Dubai for the Ripple Swell event. If you missed any of this year, check out the recap and highlights and insights for the industry leaders and innovators building the future. A little 2-minute video talking about what everything Ripple is doing, from tokenizing everything to the future of payments goes on in this Ripple Swell event. I watched a lot of videos on it and it was great. Stuart Alradi, who's the chief legal officer over at Ripple, says that the Supreme Court he says that this is from the today's Wall Street Journal, said that the Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled against the SEC in recent years. In April, the justices says people and businesses subjected to the SEC administration proceedings can seek to enjoin or block those proceedings by suing in a federal district court and raising constitutional arguments there. But it shouldn't have to get to the Supreme Court. It shouldn't have to get to these judicial federal districts before businesses can actually operate like they're supposed to, in my opinion. A lot of businesses don't have enough funding. Luckily, Ripple did and fought the good fight for us, XRP holders. But a lot of businesses end up bowing down to the SEC because they're scared of what's going to happen with their companies, or they don't actually have enough funding to go and fight the government. So they actually shut down. So again, this is the SEC picking winners and losers by filing all these bogus lawsuits. Joshua Jake shares, this makes me dislike Algorand even more. So if you guys are algo holders, so it's a great day for us in India. This is India's flag, kicked off this week with the Clinton Foundation. So if you guys are invested into Algorand, they are partnered with the Clinton Foundation, but they also just partnered with the United Nations Development Programs from Crypto Mason right here. This is kind of bullish news, in my opinion. The Academy will make it available to over 22,000 United Nations staffs in over 170 plus countries. So Algorand's doing very well. Just recently was trading around 8 cents, currently trading a little over 15 cents, close to 16 cents. So it's almost a 100x right now on it. But bullish on Algorand. I have a little bit of the tokens, not a whole lot, but I'm not going to sell my tokens because the Clinton Foundation partnered with them. For those of you guys that don't know, this is Charles Hoskinson. He's the creator of the Cardano token and the Cardano ecosystem, ticker symbol ADA. But he goes off on the SEC, comparing and picking and choosing what is considered a commodity and what is considered a security. And in my opinion, he's exactly right. But where was he when a lot of this stuff was going on? He didn't kind of talk about anything until ADA was listed in a lawsuit as a security with a cryptocurrency exchange. He could have done this a lot sooner, in my opinion, but finally, a lot of these companies are finally jumping on board with these lawsuits. Great to see though. He talks about a lot of different stuff with it. So if you guys want to, you guys can watch this. But again, picking and choosing winners and losers is not great. But one of those is former SEC Chair Jay Clayton. And if you guys want to, I'm going to play this video again. I don't know if you guys can listen to it, but we'll talk about it after. So basically saying that, a lot of accredited and non-accredited investors can't participate in these investment runs with companies. Talks about how cryptocurrency especially should not be considered a security, and it's pretty easy to make these decisions. But again, he's the one that sued Ripple 2 days before leaving office. So he's one of those that actually started a lot of this crazy stuff. But Clayton, in his final act, is picking winners and trying to limit the U.S. innovation crypto industry. So that's the same guy we just watched in this video, and this is what Brad Garlinghouse had to say in 2020. And examples in this, right here, they talked about how examples include JP Morgan coin and the XRP token. So they compared those two, but XRP was considered a security where JPM was not. They also didn't do Bitcoin or Ethereum labeled as securities either. But enjoyed my visit to the UK's Global Investment Summit leadership with we already talked about this, so I'm going to skip over it. Don't know why it was put there. But Paul Grewal says he's ready for it, and this is the Blockchain Association Summit kicking off tomorrow. This is on November 29th is when it happened, with an all-star panel of our members of our day featuring Paul Grewal, Stuart Allarati, and Craig Solom. Litigation update for the industry impact here in the United States. And then Stuart Allarati shares, when they roll the credits to the movie, I hope they show this picture. And I completely agree with that. These two right here, in my opinion, are doing very well with helping the crypto industry. Grayscale is another one that's starting to do a little bit more, but we have the most coming out of Stuart Allarati and Paul Grewal. Coinbase is proud to present our fifth annual transparency report. If you guys want to, you guys can read more about it. But they talk about how their ecosystems in 245K ecosystems and partners with over 100 plus companies. So the Coinbase ecosystem is doing very well. Just in Body Mind Life is launched as cutting edge payment system using Hedera Hashgraph, so using the hbar token. So a little bit more bullish news for hbar. Circle joins forces with SBI Holdings, one of the biggest users of XRP and Ripple. This is extremely bullish for XRP. Maybe we'll see some kind of version of USDC and on the XRPL one day. And I completely agree with this. A little bit more bullish news for the XRP token. In this video, this is during the summit, talks about how payments are now becoming a smaller part, and that basically the information's at zero cost, and we can basically use these massive payments for little cost using digital currencies. Again, using the XRP token would probably be the cheapest, most cost efficient, and then also the most transparent. And then the last thing that we're going to be going over, this is what we were talking about, is Google says XRP will be used globally by the Federal Reserve. No, this post was debunked. So make sure you guys do your guys' own independent research on anything that you guys find on the internet, anything that you guys hear from anyone talking, even including me. But the post was debunked, seeing more bullish news spread by the portion of the XRP community that post dumb stuff. As always, check your guys' sources. So somebody put this in Google. Somebody ended up creating an article on this, and in the article, there's no sources that are listed on this. This is just like if I wanted to create a little website, create an article, and then boom, it pops up on Google because I paid a little bit of an ad trying to get the XRP token to go up. It says the article claims that 12,000 to 22,000 per XRP would happen after the Federal Reserve starts using it, which is crazy. That number is ridiculous in my opinion. But again, we'll see what happens. Let's see where Bitcoin's at before we close down this video. Again, so Bitcoin right now, $41,422. So it's great. Thank you guys for tuning in to the rest of this video. I appreciate all of you guys. And if you guys can invest with big dogs, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.